Welcome to all of our parents and families to one of our parent workshops, and this one is on preparing for remote learning. At the moment, we have unusual circumstances facing our community and our schools. Parents are in the position where they need to start to prepare for remote learning for their students. We have some suggested material throughout this PowerPoint that will assist you in preparing for if and when school closure occurs and remote learning will need to begin. There's a list on this page of things that you might like to begin to collect to have available if a period of remote learning is required, and I think parents should prepare for the circumstance where that might be for 2 or more weeks. So a variety of materials and resources available in your home so that you're able to continue the learning for your children. It's really important that children keep learning at home during a period of school closure, because the greatest disadvantage to our students will be the gap of those that do continue in home learning and those that don't. So when we return to school, we will see students who have been continuing with their learning and have made progress, and we may see some who have not, and then will have gaps in their learning compared to their peers. So really important that we can still keep some things happening at home in the event of school closures. The Department of Education has put together a little checklist on preparing a space. It will be really important that your child has a space where they can do some work during the day, where there's minimal interruptions from siblings and other family members. A quiet space where they might need to connect with their class teacher or other students in their class, or to watch lessons that have been prepared or online activities. They may need a space and some resources where they're able to do independent learning on tasks of their own interests. The Department of Education has a student portal. All students should know their login details. Teachers will have provided these to them and to your family. If you go to the Department of Education's website and click the login button at the top and select Student Login, then the User ID section is usually the child's first name with a dot and their last name. Some children will have numbers or some adjustments to their login name, and they will know because they have practiced them at school or taken them home, and then they will have their password that has been set. Once they log in, they'll enter into the student portal, where some information will be available for them to click and activate. There'll be their email account where they can connect with teachers and other students, and there'll be the option to download Microsoft 365, which is the platform that we use at Sutherland Public School. So we do recommend that families start to download, if you haven't done already, the Office 365 package. It is available through the student portal, and it's free for all families who attend the government schools. Please follow these instructions. They have also been sent out through the School Bag app. It's my understanding that these can be downloaded on up to 5 devices at home, so you can cover the different options that your children and family may be working off. Once you do download it, it's a good idea to open up OneDrive. The children will mostly be working in and out of Word, PowerPoint, OneNote, and Microsoft Teams. So they're the parts to have a little look at and play around with. Really good idea in Teams if your child takes a profile picture of themselves, one that's appropriate, dressed correctly, with a nice smile on their face, and attaches it to their profile. That way, in the event where we are connecting with children through Teams app and we don't want to use cameras, we'll still be able to know who is responding to different questions or who is asking us a question. We won't be using cameras all of the time, and mics will be muted, and I'll explain that a little bit more in a moment. The Department of Education has put together a range of information for parents on their website, and the link here is on this page. Some of the next few pages have some little snapshots about responsibilities for parents and students, and how the school will connect with you during a period of closure. There's some information here of parent responsibilities. I think it would be really wise for parents to become familiar with online platforms and to look at the eSafety government website and go through some of the information for parents and some things for children. It'd be really important that you are aware of what your children are accessing and put good protocols in place to support them during an event of school closure. Here are some guidelines around what will be the students' responsibilities during remote learning. It's really important that we don't see this as an extra holiday, that we are following some of the guidance that has been given and some of the activities. Really important that the students are aware of their responsibilities with digital devices and online services, and a link to the department's policy is there for parents to have a look at. I have tried to put together some of the general use applications that we use at Sutherland Public School. Here are the links. The top one is for the department's student login portal. Then we've got Reading Eggs, Maths Online, Typing Club, Study Ladder, Spelling City, Read Theory, Prodigy, and Inquisitive. Different platforms are used for different classes and grades depending on what they are learning and their age appropriateness. Not every student will have a login for every platform. Your teachers will have advised your children of which ones they should be working from. Here is some guidelines for online classrooms if and when we get to this point. We will be using Microsoft Teams at Sutherland Public School. We may look at some other options if an extensive period of absence occurs from school, but at the moment this is our preferred platform that we are training ourselves up at school. Really important that it's in a space where children connect quietly and calmly with minimal interruptions, that as a parent and child you have a conversation about what's appropriate and what is being shown in the image if a camera was turned on. Some families might feel it inappropriate to have it in their bedroom, while others may not. Please think about what's in the background behind any camera shots if the camera is turned on. Our advice will be cameras are turned off unless instructed by the teacher to turn them on. If and when the teacher does advise you to turn the camera on, you are able to blur the background, and I have some instructions there on how to do that, and that will blur out some things behind you and just help focus on the person in the picture. And we'll ask participants to turn their microphones to mute. So again, by tapping the screen, the little prompt bar will come up and the microphone picture is there, and you can tap it and that will mute your microphone, and that we only turn them on if the teachers are asking you a question or asking you to respond, or you are asking them a question. That will just help with all the distraction and the noise that may come from multiple people beaming into that classroom activity at one time. Really important that you are appropriately dressed, that you've got a nice t-shirt covering your shoulders. Possibly you might like to wear your school uniform or something similar if we are connecting, that your brothers and sisters or other family members are not trying to get in the camera image or disrupt the learning. And we'll explain to the children how to comment and engage in conversations, and we'll talk about keeping the conversation within a thread. The teachers will unpack that. Some information and guidelines for students and parents about Workspaces, focusing in, trying to keep a normal routine, asking questions if you need to, using the language for the classroom, and really important, taking regular breaks away from our screen. What we don't want to see is our children on the screen for 3 or 4 hours every day. We want little snippets, and then there'll be time away from the screen where they can sing songs, play games, do some exercise, have some fun, talk with another family member. So really important that as a parent you set up some guidelines and routines in your household. There's a list of suggested activities here on this page from the Department of Education. And when the time comes, teachers will be communicating some further examples to our families of things that they can do. Really important that we look after everybody's well-being, particularly if we are at home for extended periods of time. What we don't want to see is stress and conflict and tension occur in the household. So it's really important you talk to your children, that you're calm, that you reassure each other, and that you find lots of ways to make the most of it, to have fun, to connect as a family, to play games, to dance, to listen to music, to laugh, and do lots of activities that will release the stress and tension in your household, avoid depression, and keep us all well, because that's what we really want, to see our community really well and happy at home learning. I have put out a quick survey, and thank you to those people who have responded. It looks like lots of our families have great access to devices. One suggestion is that a laptop or an iPad with a keyboard would be the preferred method, the preferred device to have at home for a long period of time of school closure. A phone would probably get you some of the images and activities that you would like, but it will be limited in what the children can do and create. So a laptop, if you can get hold of, or a desktop, would be the best method. An iPad is fine. One with a keyboard would be really better because they will be able to create things a little bit more easily. And if you have no devices and no internet access at home, it's really important that you reach out to have a conversation with your class teacher so we can look at ways at supporting you in your home with student learning. Thank you for taking the time to connect with us and to watch this parent workshop. We're hoping to create a series of ones that will support you with learning at home. Please go about collecting some items that will assist in the event of school closure and remote learning happening. Thank you and stay well.